the general idea of the process of buying a home, but a lot of it, of what we encounter, is new to me. So there are a lot of surprises along the way, but as far as like specific surprises go, I would have to say more with myself. I thought I had very specific ideas, because I'm a very specific goal-oriented person, so I had ideas of what I was looking for, what I wanted, but then as we've gone through different houses, they've changed, become more and more specific, and I thought I was really well prepared.
Tell me, one of the things which surprised you. Is it more? I know that some people are nervous about, they want to buy a house ready to go, ready to move in. Were there some surprises when you thought, you know what, in the beginning I thought I really would not mind a fixer-upper?
Yes, I remember. We did go through a couple houses where I'm like, oh, well, maybe I could fix this part. And, you know, there's a lot of character here, so maybe I could just build on that. But but then when we went to some other places that were just done, and I realized my husband's gone all the time, and I have 2 little ones at home, so I really don't want to live in a construction zone. And I helped, when we were together, you helped me to realize, you know, that probably fixer-upper is not for me.
Not the right thing. So you see, that's why shopping is a very good thing. You need to see many, many homes just to discover your needs, right?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Great answer. Another question: what has been the biggest help in finding the right home? Did you make notes? What did you do to help yourself to discover the pros and cons of homes and what you really need for your family?
Well, I think a lot of it has just been from my current existence, you know, of what I know, what I do like about it, what I don't like about it. That's helped me to know for specifics with the home that would be my dream home.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and that helps me to, I don't know, narrow down the field.
Okay.
But as we're going together, I see something, and then I'm like, oh, that speaks to me, and so.
And that's helps. Okay, thank you very much. Sarah, I would like you, I give you the opportunity later to ask questions to Steve and to Joan, because they're here actually to cover very important questions which will appear, especially when you find a home, you will have to go to a home inspection. And Joan will be a very good help just to answer a question you might have. I'm going to ask Steve some questions, because a lot of, you know, when I take out buyers, financing is a very big thing. And people are confused because there is a lot of information out there which are controversial. And tell me, what's the difference between being pre-approved? Do we need to be pre-approved? And between pre-qualified? Do I need to be pre-qualified?
Those are good questions. I may add a little confusion and a little less clarity by answering. There's actually no industry standard that distinguishes pre-approval from pre-qualification. And fundamentally, pre-qualification or pre-approval is worth only what the author of the document says. It's only as good as whoever wrote up the pre-approval or the pre-qualification. In general terms, a pre-qualification is really a first blush. With a pre-qualification, a credit report may or may not be done, documentation may or may not be provided. Theoretically, on a pre-approval, we go to at a much higher level. And what we're looking to do with a pre-approval is get a 3-bureau credit report, begin the verification process, verifying assets, credit history, employment, so on and so forth, and then submitting the file to electronic underwriting, at least to get an approved eligible on the file. It's a more substantial process, and it's important because it gives buyers a great deal of credibility when they're putting in an offer.
Okay.
So pre-approval is preferred. There's actually no industry standard that distinguishes. It is what the person who's writing the letter says it's worth.
Gotcha. So what would you recommend a first-time buyer? Let's say they're going to start shopping around for mortgage brokers. They're going to start shopping around for rates. what would you recommend them in regards to pre-approval? Because I know there are often a lot of surprises during the financing process because the work hasn't been done right.
Well, there shouldn't be surprises. And a pre-approval is one way of limiting the number of surprises that there are. With a pre-approval, theoretically, you're actually doing a mortgage application.
Okay.
You're providing a buyer with all the necessary disclosures, the state Connecticut disclosures, the good faith estimate, truth in lending, so on and so forth. And it's done on a worst case scenario basis. So you have your client on paper buying more house than they want, putting down less money than they may be capable of doing, and you're looking at a higher interest rate than the one that may be prevailing at the time. But you're doing everything on a worst case scenario basis, and you're doing it because you want to give your customer an idea of what they can really expect. My own experience is that customers say they want to spend $200,000 for a house.
Yeah.
They start looking at houses, they start comparing what's available in the marketplace, and all of a sudden they're ratcheting themselves up to $230,000 or $240,000. So I like to start off looking at a more expensive house than the one that they tell me that they're looking at. I like to have them putting down maybe a little less money than they're capable of putting down the minimum, or a little bit more than that, and proceeding from there. At that point, we give them a good faith estimate of truth in lending. Now, one of the misconceptions is that you can nail down an interest rate at the time of a pre-approval or pre-qualification. You can't.
Okay, you can't, right.
And nobody can tell you what the interest rate is going to be because you don't know when they're buying, how many days they're going to be locking in for, when they're actually going to be closing, and all of that stuff. So you need to get a handle on that. What you do is you go through the process, get the information, get a comfort level with it, understand to a reasonable degree what's happening, and feel comfortable with it and move forward with the pre-approval. That would be the best recommendation I think that I could give somebody.
Thank you very much. I'm sure that helps Sarah too, because as I said, Sarah is still looking, so we haven't started the mortgage process. Another question, you see, for first-time buyers, there are so many programs out there, right? I mean, for every buyer, but especially for first-time buyers. What would you recommend, or what's out there for first-time buyers if I think about government programs?
Well, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head.